2.
Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the First Class Sports Podcast. My name is Bobby.
I'm Eric.
And today is August 30th, 2023. I will say it's been a while. We had some hiccups, so I'll do this really quick. We had one last week, and again, issues kind of, running through it. So real fast to recap, we had last year, we lost our editor right near the end of the season. So I'd say we didn't get out our last 5 podcasts that we recorded. We did record them, didn't get them out. We had things planned for maybe the off season to do March Madness, but it took us a long time to kind of find our new editor. So we kind of just waited. And then once we did find our new editor, Kevin's here. Hi, Kevin.
Hi, Kevin.
So once we did find him, we got a few new setup things, a few new ideas coming along. And then when we did our test run last week and tried to explain all this to you in a longer video, ran into more hiccups. So brief recap of that. Last thing you might notice is that Zach is not here. We decided to mutually agree to kick him off the podcast. We just didn't like him.
Did you motion your hand like...
Yeah, right here. No, Zach took a night shift job to where he could no longer be with us during the podcast. He's going to be working behind the scenes on our socials. So he'll be doing that. And we might try to get him in via webcast or on an oddball sporadic episode.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Last thing we briefly covered real quick is Eric. I'll give that to you because that's your piece of knowledge.
Talking about like my...
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So something recently has came up in my personal life that deals with my wife. So there may be times where I may not be here on the podcast with Bobby, maybe somebody else or whatever. I won't really disclose too much. I'll just say this, though. My wife has been diagnosed with breast cancer, and we're dealing with that as we need to. And so because of that, there may be times where I'm not here for maybe a week or two, or I really don't know yet because we're just starting on this journey. So playing it by ear at this point. So we'll see how it turns out to be as we keep going with this.
Absolutely. That's something. Obviously, you gotta deal with family first. You gotta deal with health first. So, with my dad retiring, tomorrow's his last day. He might be able to cover some. So he joined in some podcasts last year.
Yeah, he did.
So, like we said, it's been a while. We're gonna restart this. This will kind of be introduction into the next season. Season 2 of First Class, and like last year, we kind of started it off by doing our predictions for the conferences and then kind of our Super Bowl.
Yep.
So because we have an extra week, football does not start until Thursday.
Yeah,
week from tomorrow. So we'll actually be able to get one more podcast in.
Yep.
Before the season. So this episode, we will kind of just do a conference, probably the NFC, and then we'll hit the AFC next week. That's when we'll do our divisions. We'll do our division picks too. We'll start our picks next week because we will actually have picks to do.
Okay.
So why don't we start by doing an NFC predictions. And we can start with how we think the Bears will do. We'll do the NFC North. We can start with the Bears. The Bears have an interesting outlook, I think.
Yeah, I mean they ended up with the first overall pick heading into this offseason for this year.
They did.
Which they then traded and ended up getting DJ Moore.
They did.
Which
They traded that pick to Carolina, by the way.
Oh, yeah. They traded the first pick to Carolina Panthers, got DJ Moore in return, and which I think is going to be a pretty good pickup for Justin Fields with his growth that he's still continuing to have.
Mm-hmm. I saw growth from Fields. Unfortunately, he got hurt a little bit last season, right? Off and on. He was I don't know if he missed time, but he was dealing with some stuff.
Yeah, he started getting banged up a little bit.
I have a little bit more upside in Chicago, and like you said, especially with DJ Moore coming in. I've seen in the preseason, which we're not going to cover a lot of preseason, but I've seen him targeted a lot, and I can see what he's doing with it.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see. Now, they did lose David Montgomery, but they added Deontay Foreman, and they added Robert Tunyon, and they added another guard, Nate Davis, to help them on the line.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see how that offense works. I think Chicago, if I'm going to rank where in that division is going to go, let's do each one, and then we'll rank them where we think we're going to go. So let's move on to the Lions. Now the Lions, in my opinion,
they ended the year.
They ended the year with a bang.
Yeah, so I think
if they keep that uptick,
they're the sleeper for this division.
Absolutely, I think they're the sleeper for this division. They lost DJ Chark and Jamal Williams. Jamal Williams was a huge for them near the end of the year. I'm surprised they let him go.
Well, I mean, obviously things ended up working out so far preseason-wise in their favor, because they ended up getting Jahmyr Gibbs, who kind of can do what he does. A little smaller, but can do exactly what he does. Then they stole David Montgomery from Chicago.
They so they added David Montgomery, as you said, and Marvin Jones Jr.
He played there before, but
so he's back. And as you said, they got Gibbs. So if they continue the trajectory that they were on the end, and I love their coach.
Yeah.
I see high things for Detroit. But again, here's something we have to notice. It's Detroit. They always find a way to
screw it up.
Yes, kind of trip over themselves.
Mm-hmm.
So off to Green Bay. Biggest loss is they traded Aaron Rodgers to the Jets, and Kevin, dude, wow, okay, this is old news, bud. I'm losing my mic. The mic might fall here.
Yeah, they traded away Aaron Rodgers to the Jets and ended up getting, I think, another first-round pick or something.
I forget the compensation.
Anyways, obviously they're going to take a step down.
Who? Packers?
Packers are going to take a step down from giving away a former MVP of the league.
I mean, you look who they lost too. They lost Alan Lazard. He also went to the Jets. They lost Randall Cobb, who also went to the Jets. They lost Robert Tunyon, who went to Chicago, and they lost another tight end, Marquise Lewis. They lost a lot on that offense.
Well, yeah, they still got some young pieces that were there last year that'll help with.
They do, but they're young, and so when you're starting a young quarterback.
Well, they kind of already know the offense, though.
Yeah,
I mean, they're still learning the kinks here and there.
But,
not to say they're going to be good, but I'm saying they kind of know the offense. I don't think they're going to be a drop off. I don't think it's going to be.
I think when you lose that,
they're going to drop off that much.
I think when you lose those veteran key pieces, it does hurt all around.
Sure.
So. And then lastly, we've got the Vikings. Now, the Vikings are a team that I have.
They didn't get any better, but they didn't get any worse.
And they were, how do I put this? They were the best team in the NFL last year. They came out with a negative plus minus, and they were like 13-4 or whatever.
Yeah.
And you come out with your differential as a negative. How do you do that? They can't repeat what they did last year. They just can't.
Well,
they lost Alvin Cook.
Well, I mean, yeah, but oh goodness, can't even give his name right now. Who is taking Dalvin Cook's place?
Oh, Madison?
Yeah, Alexander Madison. Yeah, I think he'll be able to step in and be just fine and do what.
Madison was always a very good backup too. So you're not wrong there. I don't think he's a Dalvin Cook, and I mean they still have Jay Jettis, and but it's also Kirk Cousins.
You didn't see recently? He's got the handlebar mustache.
Who, Cousins?
Oh, the handlebar mustache.
Cousins?
Kirk Cousins got the handlebar mustache.
Yeah. I didn't.
No. So that right there, he's got the nice mustache going on. I think it's gonna, you know, some good juju for the team, and they're gonna.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't know about all that. All right. So of the NFC North, obviously we're not going the deep coverage. We're not going to be doing these long episodes anymore. So, of the North, what are your predictions on 1, 2, 3, 4? Who's winning that division? Want to give you mine?
Go ahead.
All right. I have a surprise. I have Lions winning this division.
Okay.
Bears at 2, Vikings at 3, and Packers at 4. And I think I can switch my 2 and 3.
Yeah.
My 2 and 3 can switch.
You're probably gonna like this. I was actually gonna say Lions.
1, 2? Yeah.
I was then gonna say Vikings 2 and then Bears 3, but like you said, I could see that going either way between the two, and yeah, Green Bay probably finishing 4th
Okay, yeah.
in the division.
I wouldn't say they're in a rebuild, but losing Aaron Rodgers and such.
Still don't know what you have in
It's
Jordan Love.
yeah, it's a tough tell.
Yeah.
So we're right there. Let's go. Let's move all the way to the NFC South then, shall we?
Mm-hmm.
We'll start with the Buccaneers. Biggest news: Tom Brady retired for the 2nd time. So no signs of him coming back, as much as a lot of people wanted to.
I saw him take a shot at Kim K though.
Ooh. So they also lost Julio. Let's see what other big. So but they did get Baker Mayfield.
Who is the quarterback 1 to start the year?
He's going to start. Yep, and they also got Chase Edmonds for running back. I'm just telling you what I see here is big gains. They did lose Akeem Hicks on the D line.
You're saying these names, but I don't.
They're losses. They're key losses.
They are. I mean, they are, but
so
all you have to say is Tom Brady. You lose someone like him.
right.
Again, it's like losing Aaron Rodgers.
And I mean, yes, you do say you gained Baker, which was he number 1 for the Browns? Okay, did he?
When they drafted him?
When they drafted him.
Yeah.
Was he 1? So he is a former number 1 now. He didn't really succeed in Cleveland, but name the last time Cleveland quarterback has been good. I think that's a system thing.
Yeah, could be.
So if you move to Tampa and you have the right coach, could it be somewhere where you could develop? Possibly. I mean, now you have Mike Evans and you have Chris Godwin.
Yeah.
I mean, heck. I mean, I'm not gonna say they're gonna be awful, but he's gonna have to learn. He's got to step it up.
Sure. Yeah.
So
he will.
Next, we'll go to Atlanta Falcons, who were awful last year.
Wow.
It's Atlanta. So they're starting
Desmond
Ritter this year.
Yep.
And they lost Zacchaeus. I don't know how to say that name. But they gained a lot of people. They have a lot of free agency movements here. They got Mac Hollins. They got Bud Dupree. They got Jesse Bates.
Taylor Heineke backup?
Taylor Heineke is the backup, yep.
Wow.
They got Calais Campbell as well. They have some interesting moves. So
don't forget Bijan.
That's right. I was about to come down here. Their draft class. They got Bijan Robinson, and he's going to be an absolute stud. They got some tackle help in the draft. So I think
I'm looking for them to get one of these top tier quarterbacks coming in this draft next year. Be their long term thing to pair with Bijan. So, but carry on.
That's later. Oh, that's later. Sorry, we'll do draft stuff next year.
Okay.
So next is Carolina. Carolina made the big splash. They got Frank Reich.
There you go. It's a big splash right there.
And then he makes a move to get the number 1 overall pick, and they drafted Bryce Young. Thank you. I wanted to say CJ, and I'm like, that's wrong.
Good thing you didn't.
So they also got DJ Chark, Adam Thielen, Miles Sanders,
which I like,
and Hayden Hurst,
which I also like.
I also like. So there's some weapons here for the new guy.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be interesting. I don't know if he's gonna do what Andrew Luck came in and did and go 11-5.
No,
I think it's still gonna be a struggle for him.
he's our size basically.
Yeah,
playing
he's
in the
small.
NFL.
That was the one thing coming out was how small he was.
Yep.
So it will be a struggle for him.
I will sprinkle this in though. Thielen and Chark to start the year were both injured.
Thielen had is it just a hammy?
I don't know. That can be lingering though.
He's older, so hammies struggle. So I know he'll be fine. Maybe.
Maybe. That's a hard maybe.
All right. Last one is the New Orleans Saints, who also made a move in quarterback, and they now have Derek Carr.
Which I thought was a good move. I think it'll be good for Chris Olave, who I expect to take it over as the number one wide receiver.
Mm-hmm. They have. They also got Jamal Williams, which I like that signing.
Mm-hmm. Especially with Alvin Kamara getting suspended.
Yep. Kamara's suspended 3 games.
Yeah.
And then they also have Jarvis Landry. So Landry's a little bit older, but he can be, he has had very good splashes.
Here and there, yeah.
So Derek Carr can carry big name wide receivers. He's done it before. Mm-hmm. So we'll see. They didn't really, in my opinion, have any key losses. But this division is probably outside, I'm going to say outside the AFC South. It's probably the weakest division.
Yeah, it's a snooze fest just going through this division, to be completely honest with you.
It is what it is.
We kind of could have skipped over it.
Can we?
No.
All right, so wow, that's a little brutal. Disrespectful for the fans.
I don't care. I'm sorry.
Wow. Wow, God. So who do you have 1, 2, 3, 4?
Oh shoot.
Yeah, choosing a winner of this division.
I would probably have to say Saints.
Okay.
1. Probably. Oh man. I'm just gonna go ahead and say I'm just gonna pick Carolina 2, Tampa Bay 3, Atlanta 4.
I have your exact lineup. My 2 and 3 can flip freely.
Sure.
I think New Orleans has better talent with Carr at the quarterback. There's question marks down the board on the rest. Baker Mayfield in Tampa has enough talent and enough experience. He's not a rookie by any means. He has plenty of starts under his belt. And we have Mike Evans and Goddard. I mean, you've got to do something. So
you should. You
yes.
should.
I'll do this last division, and then you're going to have to help me with the last one. I don't have those notes.
Sure.
So you're going to have to help me with the East. We'll go West. So in the West, we have, oh boy, we're starting with this team.
God.
This team is 100% tanking.
Yeah, they are.
It's not even a question anymore. So the Arizona Cardinals are tanking hard for the number 1 overall pick, which will probably be Caleb Williams. And then you have to think in the offseason, they also have Houston's number 1. And if Houston isn't good, they're going to have 2 top 5 picks and can possibly pair Caleb Williams with Marvin Harrison. Oh, Marvin Harrison Jr. Could you imagine? Anyways.
I can only imagine him in the Colts jersey.
Anyway, there's not a lot of adds or subtractions here for Arizona. Kyler Murray is starting the year on the pup.
Yeah.
Which means he's out the first 4. There's a lot of question, a lot of rumor that he's not even going to play this year. So, and then they just let Colt McCoy, who can start and was their backup. They signed Josh Dobbs like a week ago, and he's now their starter. Okay.
I don't know. They haven't named their starter actually.
Oh.
It's between him and this Caleb Strange or whatever.
Oh. They're straight tanking.
Yeah. I mean,
they're going to be the worst team in the NFL.
There's almost no point to even talk about them.
So we'll move on to the San Francisco 49ers, who lost Jimmy Garoppolo. He went to the Raiders. Mm-hmm. They lost Mike McKinley. They lost Samson Mbakam to us, the Colts. We got him.
We did.
They lost Emmanuel Mosley. Aziz Al-Sharir to the Texans, and Jamie Ward to the Texans. They lost some good defensive players here.
Yeah, they did.
They gained a few good defensive players, though. They got Javen Hargrave from the Eagles. That was a good one. And they got Austin Bryant. They picked up a whole bunch of people on the O-line, too. They also picked up Sam Darnold as a backup because they were injured. Come on now. They lost Garoppolo. Trey Lance. They also lost Trey Lance. This isn't updated. Trey Lance went to the Dallas Cowboys for a fourth.
Yes.
I was just talking to my dad the same day he got traded. We were at dinner, we were talking, and I said, there's no way a team is giving anything greater, which would be, a higher pick, than a fifth. I didn't think you could get anything better than a fifth.
Look at you, Nostradamus.
What has Trey Lance? I understand you gave away 3 first-rounders for him, but he's proved absolutely nothing.
They're lucky that Brock Purdy panned out for him, or they probably would both be fired.
Yeah, so Brock Purdy looks like he's going to start. He got hurt in the NFC Championship game, which is a dang shame, because I wanted to see that actually play out.
Yeah.
He got hurt on the second play of that game.
Yeah.
And so now they got Purdy and Sam Darnold, and that's it, I think.
Yeah, you're right.
So, look, they still have CMC. They still have Elijah Mitchell. They still have Debo. They still have Ayuk. I think their defense is still very good. They're still going to be out there contending, I think.
Yeah, I agree.
Lastly, we will move on to the Rams.
Not lastly, you forgot one more.
Oh, right. Well, okay, I'm sorry. You're right. One more. So Rams, I don't see anybody key that they lost besides Baker.
They traded Jalen Ramsey.
They did trade Jalen Ramsey. Yep.
To Miami.
Yep. Mm-hmm. That's not on here because this is free agency, not trade. I don't have the trades. I'm sorry. So Matthew Stafford. The Rams last year had one of maybe not the most historic, but it was definitely a disappointment coming off of the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And they didn't even make the playoffs.
Oh.
But Matthew Stafford was hurt for a majority of the year.
And Kupp got hurt too.
So now you have Kupp back, who's already pulled a hammy. Stafford coming back. We'll see. He's getting older. We'll see how he comes back from that injury. That might have been the Rams' only year.
It probably was. I don't see them moving the needle too much this year.
Lastly, Seattle. They re-signed Bobby Wagner and Geno Smith. They got a whole bunch of defensive players, Devin Bush. So Seattle was on the uptick. I had good faith for Seattle last year. Geno did a lot better than I predicted. Don't drop that mic.
I'm not trying to drop the mic. It's not staying. Oh well, we'll fix it later. Keep going.
Seattle. Sorry, we got new mics as well. I don't know if you know this. Last year, you probably saw we had mics in front of us. We're trying out these new mics, these boom mics, and something's gonna have to happen. Seattle with Geno, boy, I think another full year under that, and the running back Walker, he got hurt last year too, didn't he? He ate Walker the third.
Oh, we're on Seattle. Yes. Yeah.
Follow along, please. Yes, he got hurt. He had a good start of the season. I believe he got hurt. So if running backs can stay healthy, if Geno can stay healthy. I mean, Lockett's coming to the end of his years, I think. He's getting up there. You still got freaking Megatron Jr. and freaking DK.
Yep. And they just brought in Jackson Smith and Jigba.
You know what? And it's a shame I missed him in our rookie drafts. But, yes, we'll see what can happen with Seattle. Mm-hmm. And I think this is going to be a very easy 1, 2, 3, 4.
Just go ahead.
All right. San Francisco, Seattle, Rams, and Arizona Cardinals.
I ditto that.
Yeah, I think that one's easy. So now we move on to the final. This would be the NFC East, which I don't have notes on. I'm sorry.
I am pull it up. I'm going to pull out the cell phone here.
Yes.
for notes. Gotta bring my laptop. Don't
That's
hate
okay.
on me, everybody.
First episode, man. It's okay.
I'm not even there yet. Oh crap! I passed him.
Do you know who we're looking for?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It's just a matter of getting to him now.
Hey, we can continue to poke fun at the one team.
Which one?
You know the team.
Oh, the Cowgirls?
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Oh, well, they're the first team to pop up,
Oh,
anyways.
God, good old Cowgirls. Good on them. Well, we said one of the acquisitions was Trey Lance.
Yeah, Trey Lance, who more than likely not even going to be their second string, will still be their third string quarterback.
Yep.
Well,
Nice. Okay. They got rid of Zeke.
Yep, Zeke's gone.
He went to
Patriots.
New England.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
They re-signed Tony Pollard on the franchise tag.
Yes.
So he's still there as their RB1. They got
RB1.
Brandon Cooks coming in via trade.
That's not a bad pickup. I'm not.
No.
He's always.
That's their third wideout, basically. And another trade they actually did that I thought that was pretty decent. They got Stephon Gilmore from us.
They got Stephon Gilmore. I was mad about that trade.
Yeah.
I don't know what corners we're gonna have.
They're no names, but apparently whoever they are, they like what we have. But we'll get there.
Sure.
Next week.
Next week.
It also looks like they brought in Ronald Jones to be an RB2. Nothing really fancy on here. They got the same squad basically that they brought in last year with a couple more depth pieces. So expect probably the same results, if not one or two more, basically.
And then bounce in the first round of playoffs.
If they make it, yeah, sure.
Ooh, you're saying if? Wow, NFC isn't even that hard to make a playoff spot this year.
Sure. Moving on, we'll go to the New York Giants. Will be the next thing we talk about. They did a lot of signing, more so in the free agent room.
They did.
Wide receiver free agents room is what I mean, to be more specific. I'll get to that, but I guess their big news for them is Daniel Jones came back on a 4-year deal for them. They got him back on a big contract.
An egregious contract that I don't believe he deserves. But
$160 million a year, and he got $35 in incentives. So
absolutely bananas.
Yeah. They also got Saquon Barkley back on a 1-year deal. We'll see what happens after the end of this year, if he stays or goes somewhere else. The wide receivers I talked about, they brought in a bunch of small dudes. Paris Campbell
from us.
Jamison Crowder, and well, I guess that's it. They re-signed 2 of their other guys that they had last year, in Slayton and Shepard.
They also got Okereke from us too, didn't they?
Yep, I was getting there. They got Okereke as linebacker. I guess one of their other biggest pieces that they got this offseason was they got Darren Waller. Via trade from Oakland or Las Vegas. I apologize. Don't hurt me, Raiders fans.
I slip every now and again too. It's fine.
Yeah. It's been so long just calling them Oakland. I'm
Yep.
sorry. I spent more than half my life doing that. Anyways, I like what they've done with their team. I like the head coach that they have.
They were on the upswing too.
I like Daniel Jones. I know a lot of people don't. I actually kind of like Daniel Jones.
I like Daniel Jones. He's proven, again, after this will be his 4th year, right?
Mm.
But he's been injured off and on between his 3.
Wouldn't this be his 5th?
Oh, is it his 5th? I thought it was his 4th. Okay, I could be wrong here.
Could be wrong. I don't know. I think it's 5th though.
Okay, this might be a stat added. He needs to fully be healthy and fully prove himself, because I think I did start to see the arc again.
Mm-hmm.
I like giving quarterbacks 3 years in a system. If they're coming out of rookie, 3 years to prove it. Again, the injuries kind of, I'll give you a leeway on that. And I did like what I started to see. You had Darren Waller as a great security blanket, I think.
Oh yeah.
That I think is probably one of the biggest ones. And I will say Paris Campbell can stay healthy for him, because that was the biggest thing with Paris. Paris ain't no slouch either. I was a little upset that we got rid of him, but
take top off the defense for sure.
So yeah. Next.
Moving on. Last year's division winners, the Philadelphia Eagles.
Philly.
Jalen Hurts obviously signed a big contract extension this offseason. He earned it basically. One of the top 5 quarterbacks in the league right now. They did some adjustment to the running back room. Brought in Rashad Penny from Seattle via free agency, and they also traded for DeAndre Swift Swift from Detroit. Which, I mean, they're not a team that usually uses one running back. They use a bunch of running backs.
Committee,
so
really
I understand why they did this.
Yeah.
If these guys aren't the number one and they actually stay healthy, they can actually do something for your offense.
Because, I mean, I do like Swift, and I do like Penny. Because Penny was a great number 2. He wasn't a slouch either. So, I mean, I like both of those additions.
Yeah, I mean, other than that, they brought back a bunch of their guys from their defense. Nothing
great.
too much else with any kind of changes for them. So I expect.
They lost their offensive coordinator?
Oh, yeah, I guess we want to talk about that. Yes. They lost their offensive coordinator. Again, the Colts and Eagles keep doing this game of, I don't know if you want to call it Red Rover, where they send people over back and forth with each other. Shane Steichen is now the Indianapolis Colts head coach, coming over from Philadelphia. So we'll get into that in our next episode. We'll get into the AFC. But we'll
spend a little bit more time on the Colts, obviously. But.
Yeah, since we're Colts fans, we live in Indianapolis, so yeah, we will. But I'm not going to spend too much more time on the Eagles. Yeah.
That is what they are.
The last team we'll talk about here is the Washington Commanders. A team that I think could be sneaky good this year.
Starting Sam Howell at quarterback, correct?
They are. Jacoby Brissett being quarterback too, so if all goes wrong, you got a pretty steady guy coming in. But yeah, Sam Howell, second-year player, and the QB1 starting the year.
Who was one for him last year? Was it Carson Wentz?
Start the year, yeah. It ended up being Taylor Heineke for a little bit, and then Sam Howell ended the year.
They bounced back and forth last year.
Yeah. And then, he got hurt. Heineke took over, and then Sam Howell at the end of the year, they just gave him the reins.
Okay.
So I don't know what to expect of him. I know some other media sites talk highly of him.
Of Howell?
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, technically he's I know this is his second year, but kind of his first start. So, he's going to get kind of a brute force of it, I think.
Yeah, I mean, he's got some decent receivers there, Balto. You got Terry McLaurin, Jahan Dotson.
Mm-hmm. Who's your running backs? Gibson and...
They have Gibson and Brian Robinson. They also brought in Eric Bieniemy from Kansas City to be their offensive coordinator.
Yes.
So I think that should bring some more juice to their offense.
Mm-hmm. I like that.
So we'll see. We'll come to that. Looking at stuff that any kind of moves that they did in the off season for agency wise, nothing really moving the needle for me to even mention on here. So I guess I would say their biggest move was getting Bieniemy in. Maybe that'll help change their vanilla offense, I guess, a little bit.
Yeah.
Like I said, bring more juice. So we'll see what comes of them this year.
Yeah. So who's your 1, 2, 3, 4 here?
I would have to say it's obviously Philadelphia at number 1. I'm gonna go New York 2, Giants, New York 2, Cowboys 3, and Commanders 4.
I'm gonna go Philly, and then Cowgirls, and then the Giants, and then Washington.
Giants 3.
I do think that the 2 and 3 can switch here as well. It really depends on Dak. And it really depends on Daniel Jones, how they play.
Yeah, you're right. It does. If you want to say the same things about Daniel Jones, you can probably say the same stuff about Dak, how he's kind of inconsistent too. So, plus they just lost their offensive. Oh my God, they just lost their offensive coordinator.
Yes, yeah.
Anyways,
I agree. I just think, I don't know. Dallas has such a good defense that I think it's going to win them games where I don't know if the Giants defense can do the same.
We shall see. We can put a bet on it.
I don't know if that's the one that we want to put a bet on.
Okay.
There's other things we can put a bet on.
Okay.
Besides that one, I promise.
Okay. Sure, there is.
So we're gonna kind of conclude this next week. This is kind of a part 2 kind of deal. We're gonna wrap this up next week. Next week is going to be closer to 2 episodes. That's kind of what. It's the last thing we didn't. We're running. What are we at right now, Kevin?
35 minutes.
That's about. I like that.
Somebody's gonna say 69.
Nah,
so
no,
I
there's
can give
no
out the little
shot.
nice.
So for those who watched us, from the beginning, we would run like hour and a half long videos, very close in that a little bit. We don't want to do that anymore. We're gonna split these up into shorter, either 30 to 45 minutes. 45 wants to be our max. So next week we will have picks because games will start, and then we'll wrap up the AFC, and then we'll do our kind of where we think our seating is going to be.
Sure.
And then we'll do who gets the wild card spots, and then we'll do I said Super Bowl predictions maybe, and then picks, and we can talk a little bit more about the Colts, because Colts, there's a lot that's happened, lots of drama. I'll be excited for.
Oh, yeah.
And hopefully we can fix these mics because it's been an annoyance.
I just did.
Did you? Oh,
Yep.
Yeah, mine's completely off the table.
Of course, at the end.
Mine's completely off the table. So we'll fix that. We have a few things to tweak here and there.
We will, and we will.
We're gonna have. You'll see some things start to change throughout the season, guys. We're kind of adding new pieces as we go, as we learn. Hey, we like that. We're gonna do it this way. So. Biggest thing is we do have our editor here live. Kevin, if you hear us look over there, it's because he's right there. You have something.
You don't see me.
See?
But he sees you.
John Cena over there. So anyway, I think that's it for this episode, and we shall see you next week.
Bye, I love you.